I want to welcome each of you back to The Dang Right, a Melissa football podcast with Coach Nally. I'm your host, Coach Nally. I want to thank Mr. Kramen and the solo act of Max. Max is like Indiana Jones, just a cool guy doing cool things and saving the world one day at a time. Our guest today is someone that we've had on the podcast before. I asked her back to give another perspective on what the life of a coach and their families are. She's the bees to my knees and the cat to my meow. Welcome back to the podcast, Mrs. Coach Nally. Welcome back to the podcast, Miss Nally.
Thanks for having me. Those were some high-quality compliments there. Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm feeling real good about myself.
Heck yeah. You know, normally I ask the first question is, give me your life story, but we heard your life story last time. So give us the story of this year. Like, what's been going on with your life?
Okay, so we have a senior this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's been taking up, most of our lives?
Yep. Let's not get too in
more.
Detail. Yep.
Yeah, just more than normal, I
Right.
would say. Normally this time of year, we're focused on football.
Right.
Just in general, but I have not been as focused this year because we have a senior.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to do all those things. And
he got accepted into Mississippi State the other day, and he's leaving in January.
He did. That's so exciting.
So,
I know,
super
and scary.
Pumped, so excited.
I know you're excited.
Yeah.
It's scary, but we just have to believe we've raised him right, and God's going to protect him.
Yep. You're right. You are correct. Okay, so I spoke to you last spring about being a coach's wife. I wanted to bring you back in the fall to discuss,
right in the thick of it, to get the real,
to get what it's like during the season.
Yeah, because maybe I was lying before.
Yeah. I just
or I shoved it out of my mind.
Just to get a different perspective. We're in Game 5 of the season. How is it being a coach's wife right now? Yeah, let's do this.
Okay, so I would say we're through like the honeymoon phase of the season. Each season has like that honeymoon phase where where as a family, we're all excited about the season.
Right.
Like we're ready for it to get started. You're doing 2-a-days. We're making all the plans. It's going to be fun, all that. And now we're in the thick of it, like people have practice multiple days a week.
Yep.
And we have 3 games that we're going to every week. And when do we eat supper and who washes the clothes?
It's not stressful at all. It's, we have so much time to spend with each other and all those things. But,
somebody said after the game on Friday, I was standing waiting for you, and one of the parents was joking. He's being funny, and he said, "Oh yeah, I saved that for 24 hours after the game. You can't meet with the coach 24." And I was like, "I know, but if I don't see him now, it's going to be like 48 hours."
Yeah. And that's what stinks is, I was thinking about that the other day and it really was, because I didn't see you on Friday except for that moment that we had at Toyota until, and that was on Thursday. I didn't see you. Oh,
gosh, yeah, that was Thursday.
Yeah,
oh, my gosh. Okay.
I didn't see you until Saturday around 3.
Mm-hmm.
So it was crazy. I went, and a lot of people don't know this, but I usually stay at the field house all night long after we play. And then, the next day was a Friday. So we had school, and then, I went and watched the Anna Lovejoy game. And when I got home, you were asleep. So, and then I woke up.
I couldn't wake you up. I couldn't stay up that long.
And then I woke up and went to work. I think maybe, I don't know if you were sleeping or not. I can't remember exactly then, but I know that I was going to see you at Owen's game, and I got in a car wreck, so I didn't get to see you. So, but see you and the boys, and I didn't get to.
For anybody who is wondering, we just described a typical week.
Yeah.
Like, this is not even abnormal.
Correct.
None of the things he said were abnormal. And I think people think that I'm exaggerating when I say things like, In July, we say we'll see you in December. Like, I think
Right.
people think that I'm making a real joke about it, but legitimately, we don't see each other lots of days during the week. Especially, I think this year is better because we have 2 kids in high school.
Right.
You know,
right.
so we're not like split all the time.
Right.
So then we get to go and see like the same games.
Right.
So we do see each other a little bit more this year, which is different.
Well, and I also try to, when our middle son Hayden's playing, I try to sit up in the stands with you and our youngest son Owen, just because I haven't got to see you guys. You know, I get to see Jack.
Well, and you love our company and commentary on the game.
Absolutely.
Right.
But I get to see Jack every day, obviously, and then I get to see Hayden the last period of the day. But you get to just, you know, kind of interact with him a little bit. But, you know, I don't get to see you or Owen that much at all. So,
but too, like those minutes that you see them, like that's what you're.
yeah, absolutely.
That's what you do this for.
Absolutely. But, you know, I mean, it's crazy. I was talking to a coach today just about, you know, all the things that coaches do and, you know, all the stressors and all the stuff that, you know, I was kind of counseling. He was a younger coach. He was a coach that I know. And he gave me a call and we were talking. But, you know, just, you know, at the end of the day, you really got to think about the positives because there's so much negatives that go into it. And you always got to think about the positive, and that is other people's kids, you know, and then that it just is what it is. But a lot of people, you're doing such a service for the world, you know, and that's exactly what I said to him. So you're doing such a service to the world, helping the youth of America and of the world, you know, to be better people, you know, and it's not just about winning a football game. And there's a lot of people out there that believe it's about winning a football game or it's about winning a basketball game or a baseball game. And it's so hard, as you know, you've been doing this for 22 years right next to me. It's really tough to win a game, you know, and it's the other stuff that really matters.
You're growing the future.
Right.
Like growing our future.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Well, what is it like dealing with someone who is stressed out all the time and it has to be annoying, and you might want to punch me a little bit, I don't know, but what is it like, somebody that's just 24 hours 7 days a week stressed out about high school football, stressed out about high school practice, stressed out about high school coaches, stressed out about personnel, stressed out about, you know, does this work? Does that work? Does this scheme work? And you probably don't already know these things, but somebody who is just at the max, stressed to the max every day. How is that?
I mean, I just love it.
Yeah, heck yeah.
You
do.
are a peach.
Yeah, heck yeah.
All the time.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you
I'd
so
like
much.
to say that
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've gotten better through the years, though.
Yeah, you've gotten better. But I think that I don't know if you remember, but like when we first got married, we made some rules.
Okay.
We, mainly me.
Yeah, heck yeah, okay.
And they've just become part of our lives. And I think that's what keeps us sane because, I mean, you could, especially now, because it isn't just you now. Like before, it was manageable because it was really just one person in our house and everybody else was thinking about whatever else, you know, like whatever's important to you. So we all had our own thing, but now there are 3 of you in the house. So it really could get out there. But I think that, you know, we talked 20 years ago about
22 years ago.
22.
Max, just want to let you know, I knew that and she didn't. 22 years ago.
22 years ago. Okay. That we're not going to dwell on the losses. You know, like we're going to let it go.
That's hard, Max.
That's
very really hard.
Matt is like a dog with a bone. People who don't know him, he is like a dog with a bone.
I want to win every game.
About a lot of things, but especially about this.
I want to win every game, Max.
Yeah.
But I don't want to lose anything.
Yeah.
Any game. It's losing sucks more than the greatness of winning. I hate it. But continue, Julie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so you can see why we have enacted this rule in our house that we're not gonna we don't dwell on that. We're gonna move on, and we are not going to talk about school and football all the time.
That is true. It's tough.
Which I think that one has been, we've relaxed on that a little bit, but just because, I mean, the boys are there and that's what they want to talk about.
Right.
I mean, they want to have some of those discussions and they want to learn more, but also want to grow with you. And so that one we haven't.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, though, because I'm sure there's people out there that think like, I have a dry erase board and I'm talking to my kids at home and drawing plays up and whatnot.
Well,
and
we have.
You're correct.
You're
right. I used to have this huge, nice dry erase board in my garage, Max. It was massive, man. And I moved and I didn't put it back up. So, Jackson, really not until this year, I guess. We did a little bit in the past, not that much. But, Jackson wants to be a coach, so he wants to know all this stuff. Hayden thinks he knows everything anyways. So, I
wonder where he got that from.
Julie K. But yeah. I mean, it's. I do know that one. Well, how long do you think I'm gone each week? How many hours do you believe I work? The reason I ask this question is that sometimes I think that people are like, they're lying.
Okay. This could be two different questions.
Okay.
How much are you working and how much are you gone?
Okay, so let's ask this question first. Gone first.
Okay, I'm kidding because I think you really are working most of that time, even if it is fun stuff that you're doing.
Fun stuff. Like doing the laundries.
Yeah, but it's not maybe a fun task, but you have a really good group of coaches.
Oh, heck
and,
yeah.
And y'all have a lot of fun together.
Yeah, absolutely.
So even if you're doing a task that's not as enjoyable, the company makes it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, everything that we do up here from, laundry to watching film to, vacuuming, whatever the case may be, it's going to be fun. I mean, we got some great personalities and whatnot, but yeah, let's hear about it.
Okay. So during the week, you're gone at like 6. And then you get home.
I leave at 5:40 in the morning on Monday.
Okay, I'm not awake.
Yeah, there you go. She's not awake.
When I wake up at 6, you are not at home.
I got coaches, Max, that get up at the field house at 4 or 4:30 in the morning.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know how they function.
That's
okay,
true.
So then you don't get home until, depending, let's say average Monday through Wednesday, on average, you get home at 7.
Okay, I mean, I can handle that, because.
But like Thursdays, we don't really see you, and Friday we for sure don't see you, except at the game.
Correct.
And Saturday, then you're gone. Oh, what? Like you wake up at like 7 or 8, and you're gone until 3, 4, and then on Sunday, you kind of get up. We, do whatever we're gonna do as a family, and then you go to the field house and you're there most of the evening. So 5 or 6 hours probably.
So if you had to guess, because the thing at Max is like I'm an organized guy. I've got it by the second. Max, if you need your life organized, I'm the guy. Okay. But I'm curious.
But also, if you need someone to hound you about that organization, he's also the guy. So you may not want to sign up for that.
I was just curious if you knew exactly when it was, because grading starts at 8. Grading ends at 9, and then we have a unit meeting at 9:05. So make a long story short, coaches are there from 8 to 3 on Saturday.
Okay.
And then on Sunday, they show up at 1, and then they don't come home until we're finished.
Yeah, which depends.
Right. So.
And also, I do want to say, I do appreciate your organization. So I know I made fun, but I do appreciate that.
I'm extremely organized. Extremely organized. As we discussed this week we talked about it. I get stressed about not seeing my kids and you during the week, enough during the week. First off, thank you so much for being such a great mom and a great wife. I love you for that. But can you give some advice to the young coaches' wives out there dealing with what it's like in your shoes?
Oh, gosh. Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm the best to give advice because I get frustrated too. I mean, I know especially in the spring, I probably made it sound like this is amazing and wonderful and I just love every minute of it. But like,
Right.
last night as I was
Yeah.
taking the trash
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
by myself,
Yeah.
I was probably not really as thankful for this profession as maybe I have been before. So I would say that just to remember that it's not all going to be roses, and that's okay.
Right.
I mean, it's okay to feel what you're feeling. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to miss him, or her.
Right.
If you're
right.
it's okay to feel what you feel, but you also have to keep that in perspective that, yes, was I frustrated for 5 minutes and irritated last night? Sure.
Yes, Max, she was. She let me know about it. And she gave me the stink eye this morning, Max. Continue. I'm sorry.
But
even though I came in and gave her a big hug and told her I love you, she still was like, get away from me. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh my gosh. But just to keep that in perspective, like that yeah, it's going to really stink sometimes, but in life everything is going to stink sometimes. It's just, how much of that can you deal with, and to be open and honest with your partner about that. Like,
right.
Like I can remember when, like, the schedule that you have now to some people probably sounds awful, but it's really very manageable and a really great schedule. I can remember times when we literally would not even see you on the weekends until maybe Saturday night, Sunday evening for like dinner.
Right.
Well, so, I mean, so to have the conversation about that too, that like, all right, listen, I understand that this is your career. I understand that this is like where you feel like, God's put you and that he's calling you to do this mission here, but also your family needs some time. So to also feel the, like your own self-worth, that as a wife or a partner, you are valuable too. And that there are some things that you guys need to talk about as a family and make, set boundaries or set, like we had those rules, like we had to do that because that was a boundary that we needed to set.
Right. The one thing I remember when, God, this has been a long time ago, but I was the head baseball coach.
Oh gosh, baseball is horrible.
Yeah.
Okay, for anybody who plays or coaches baseball, let me say it is like my favorite sport to watch. I do love baseball, even though nobody else plays it. But
good save,
man. For your coach to coach baseball, wow, like that is.
But one of the rules that you had was when I got home, I could not get on my phone if it had to do with baseball.
Yeah, that's true.
And, God, it was such a long time ago. I'm sure, I don't even know if texting was like, I'm sure it was a thing, but.
Wow, way to date us. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that's one thing I still try to do.
Yeah.
I still try to not take a phone call unless it's, and I tell my coaching staff, don't call me at home unless it's an emergency.
Well, and you don't do that either to respect them and their families.
And, if you text me, I'll try to text you back before I go to bed. But that is one of the things that I try to do. Okay, so, something that I feel guilty about for the last for the last 18 years is, and it's worse every year. And, in all honesty, it makes you question, what are you doing? But, your kids, You know what I'm saying? And, because coaching is, like I said, you're up there all day, all morning, then you're doing your thing during the day, and then after school and all those things. And then you're watching film and you're breaking stuff down, and you get home 7, 8 o'clock at night, and on a Monday night, and you get home and there's your 10-year-old son who wants to hang out with you, and you're tired and you don't want to do those things. And our 10-year-old son is like a Jedi master when it comes to speaking. And
and asking questions.
So like he wants to talk all the time, and you're just like, bro,
got a lot of good stuff to say,
I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, bro, I need 3 feet. Like, you're gonna have to just chill out, man. And just things like, I remember when I was younger, that's what I was talking about this week. Like, I'm just not a young coach anymore. I'm just not that guy. Like, I could go to work, get there, get off at work at like 8, come home. It's 8:15, and Jack and Hayden were little boys, and I could go and play basketball with them in the front yard and be awesome. You know what I'm saying? And then come in and wrestle with them a little bit, give them a bath, and they could go to bed. And I would be like, woohoo, life is good.
Give them a bath.
Come on now. I had to throw
yeah.
myself,
Sure.
But
Okay.
I could do those things. And then now I'm just like, man, I'm tired. I'm really, really tired. So yeah.
Yeah, but we've talked about this a lot. Like, it's not the quantity of time, it's the quality.
Yeah, I know, but you don't want your kids, and I think Jack said it a week or two ago, we're just used to it, and that's like, you're like, golly, like, you're just used to me being gone for 100 hours a week. You know what I mean? Like, that is something that, it's a little bit heartbreaking, but I hope they understand that, I am trying to do good.
But they're also used to having 100 big brothers.
Right.
They're also used to having families who take them under their wing and do whatever.
Right.
They're used to having a whole group of other kids, other family members, other friends. They're used to having some other relationships that other kids who have parents who work an 8 to 5 job.
Right.
They don't know that piece, So yeah, you're right. Like, is it sad that they're used to their dad being gone a lot? Okay. But now at least the older two are starting to spend some of that time with you.
Right. Right. And that's invaluable. Like, that's priceless, getting to see them at school and getting to see, like, them in their element.
So there's trade-offs.
Right. Well, what advice would you give to a coach's kid?
Oh, man.
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay, to a coach's kid, I would say it is going to be 1,000 times harder for you to do anything.
That is correct.
It doesn't matter what it is. In the classroom, out of the classroom, on the field, off the field, you are constantly being judged. And that it can be good or it can be bad. You can either take that and say, you know what, I know that this is what's going to happen to me, and so I am going to, meet that challenge, and I'm going to overtake this, and I'm going to be the best that I can be. I'm going to do great at this. I'm not going to worry about what other people think about me. Those are the things I would say. Those are the things I think that we've preached to our children is, number one, we don't care if you are involved in sports.
Right.
Like, that's not our goal for you. Our goal for you is to be a godly man and to be a good person and to be kind. Like, those are the things that we want to see in you. So if we see those things and you don't play any sport, great. But if you're playing sports and you're not displaying those things, well, then we're not going to be happy about that.
Right.
So I would say find what your family, morals and values, define that with your family and for yourself, because that's the other thing too, is that we've always prayed for our kids to be independent thinkers.
Right. That's been awesome, by the way, Max.
It's kind of bitten us.
That prayer's been answered.
Yeah, it kind of bit us a couple times.
Yeah.
But
that was her idea, Max. It wasn't mine.
In the long run, it's going to be so much better, and for them as a kid, I would say find that for yourself and stay on that path and live that, because then it won't matter if somebody says, oh, you just got this position because your dad's the coach, or whatever they may say, which I would say very rarely happens on a good quality team. Like on a good quality team, that kid is working way harder because they're having to overcome that hurdle. So instead of that kid saying, I don't have to do as much, I'm just going to get this position, they typically are working 10 times harder than all the other kids, learning the plays, learning the whole system, knowing what their position does along with every other player that's on the field at the time, not just on the offense or defense, but also on the opposite side of the ball, so that they can execute the play, but also be able to tell other people what to do and help them, because most coaches' kids also are very driven by team, and it's not about their individual accolades, it's about that team doing well, and they understand that it's better for all of us to do better. So if I can help you learn, then that just makes our team better, elevates all of us.
That's awesome, Max, because she's right. And I say she's right. I know a lot of coaches' kids, and when you talk to coaches' kids, it's weird that you say that. Every coach's kid I ever talked to talks about the team. They don't ever talk about themselves. You'd be like, man, you had a great game, man. Yeah, it was because of the offensive line or that guy or this, that, and another. And, man, Julie, that's a very...
But they've grown up in field houses.
Right. What's the word, Max? It's a very intuitive. Is that a word?
That is a word.
Is that the
I'm
word?
not sure if that's the word you're looking for.
Okay, so here's a question for you. Who was the first person to sign the Declaration of Independence?
Oh, my gosh. Why are you asking me?
It was on the podcast a week or two ago, and no one knew, but I knew it. I still think it's the right answer. I don't know. Is it? Am I right? Who is it, Julie? Oh, yeah, I've won.
Man.
I've won.
I was not getting myself geared up for this. Okay, wait.
Herbie.
What?
I'm just kidding. Tommy Boy. Herbie Hancock.
Oh, my gosh. The only names I could think of I knew were not even on the Declaration of Independence.
What were you thinking? Like,
no, I'm not even going to tell you.
Steve Smith?
No, they were actual historical figures. But
well, who is it? Who is it?
I'm not telling you, because then you'll just make fun of me.
You don't know who it is. You don't know who the first person is. What do you?
Okay.
All right. Who you can say Abraham Lincoln?
People who are listening to this,
I hope she did say
they like can't see me, but this
it's the face she gave me last. That was the face she gave me last night when the trash wasn't taken out. John Hancock was the first person to sign the Declaration of Independence. So, and I got that.
Well, you said Hancock already. I wasn't going to just steal it out from under you.
Okay, I'm just
saying. This is a win for you. Let's go with it, right?
I agree with that. All right.
Way to go, Matt. You're so smart.
We're fixing to talk about her savagery. Max, that's a part of it, what just happened. Okay, so when I'm gone, what do you do? Like, I'm so fun and probably the only thing that brings joy to your life. So
yeah, that's so true.
People want to know what Julie Nally does when Coach Nally isn't around.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, like most of it, I'm working, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or I'm doing the things at home, like laundry and dishes and cleaning up, and boys, let's go to practice and let's go to games and let's go. That's most of it.
Or
grocery shopping,
Yeah.
Like
you've been binge watching some shows. Nobody knows this but me, but NCIS, is it Miami or NCIS just in general?
Just the original.
There's like 52 seasons. And like there's 100 episodes in the 52 seasons, and she's seen every single one of them.
They're so addicting.
Oh, apparently.
Well, I could be watching a lot of other stuff.
And then she'll watch it.
It's just one of those shows.
She'll rewatch it.
It's one of those shows that I can watch that I'm like, oh, yeah, this is going to happen. And I don't have to pay attention. So then if I'm folding clothes or whatever, I don't feel like I don't need to pause it to go put towels up or whatever.
But you watch a lot of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, yeah, I watch a lot of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
It's a good show. It's
Probably-
okay show.
Probably more than what? Okay.
It's okay. It's not a great show.
Well, you would
It's-
say that.
It's an okay show.
You're like the Captain Holt, so.
I'll take that. But, let's discuss your savagery. You're the Michael Jordan of being savage. Let's hear your best savage story.
I don't feel like that's necessary.
You don't feel like that's necessary? That's okay. That's all right. Max, my sons have acquired my wife's savagery, and I'm going to give you some examples of it. I was the offensive coordinator for Coach Stinton, and we're playing White House in Emory Reigns one year, and the game ends, and my middle son's a little boy, maybe 6, 7, 8 years old, something like that, and he comes up to me and says, "Hey, Dad," and I said, "Hey, buddy, what's going on?" Right after the game, literally, band just played. "Hey, Dad. Hey, buddy, what's going on, pal? Who was calling the plays tonight?" "I was." "You need to do a better job. You didn't do a very good job tonight." So, that was my...
He meant it
Yeah.
as an encouragement.
Yeah, encouragement. That's right, encouragement.
Here's your challenge. I'm throwing it down. You can get better, Dad.
Probably about, I don't know, it was in the summertime. I was wearing a shirt that I thought fit me well. Okay, kind of showed off the guns a little bit. And my oldest son said to me, "Are you wearing that shirt?" And I said, "Yeah, man, I think it looks good on me." And he said, "If you walk around like that, I'm not going to walk around next to you. That's embarrassing. You're fat."
He didn't say you were fat.
He implied it big time. He implied it big time.
Someone might be a little sensitive.
Okay, it doesn't matter. He implied it. And then my youngest son likes to talk about how I don't have any hair all the time. So,
in his defense, he's not trying to be rude about it, but
that's exactly it's the savagery piece of it. I 100% agree with you. He's not trying to be rude.
Something will come up about a haircut or whatever,
and he'll be like, "Dad, you don't need a haircut because you're bald." I totally understand where you're coming from. I've heard it a million times. So, but they've all acquired this gift from my wife that she is extremely savage. But I want to thank Mrs. Coach Nally for spending some time with us today on the podcast. Miss Nally, is there anything you'd like to add or any final thoughts you'd like to share with our listeners before we conclude?
Just a big thanks to all of your listeners, of course, for listening to this podcast. Also, just a thank you to Melissa ISD, the staff and students here, your coaches, their wives and families, the players.
Yeah.
I mean, just all of it. Thank you, and we love you.
Thank you to coaches' wives and coaches' kids, 100%. Thank you for listening to the Dang Right podcast with Coach Nally. Thank you to our guest, Mrs. Nally. And thank you again to Mr. Kramen and his students for putting this podcast together. Have a great week, and it's always a great day to be a Cardinal.